Today is Wednesday, February 5. I'm Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from Hebrews 11. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. That's Hebrews 11, verse 31. As Pastor Michael pointed out yesterday, we've skipped over 40 years in the wilderness between the Red Sea and Jericho, or at least that section of time is skipped over here in chapter 11's Litany of Faith. But the time of wilderness testing did figure earlier in the book of Hebrews, quite prominently in fact. So why doesn't it show up here? Because the writer considers the wilderness to have been a time not of faith, but of disobedience. This is what we read in chapter 3. Who were they who heard and rebelled? Were they not all those Moses led out of Egypt? And with whom was the Lord angry for 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose bodies perished in the wilderness? And to whom did God swear that they would never enter his rest, if not to those who disobeyed? So we see that they were not able to enter because of their unbelief. That's Hebrews 3, verses 16 to 19. The author uses that same word, disobedient, in our verse today. Rahab, the woman of faith, is contrasted with those who were disobedient. We presume when we read this that the disobedient must refer to the other inhabitants of Jericho who died. Maybe. But earlier in the book, the disobedient refers to the Israelites. And if we remember back to the book of Joshua, we would recognize that there were also disobedient Israelites killed in the Jericho affair. If Joshua chapter 6 told the story of Rahab's faith that literally stood out amid the crumbling walls of Jericho, chapter 7 tells us of the disobedience of Achan, who grabbed plunder from Jericho's fallen ruins in direct defiance of God's command. Achan held on to Jericho rather than God and perished. Rahab held on to God rather than Jericho and lived. We can often presume that the faithful are the ones inside the church, the people of God. The Bible rarely sees it that way. Very often the wicked and disobedient are mixed up within the people of God. And it's the foreigners and sinners like Rahab the prostitute who witness to God's people about what it means to be people of faith. This is the story here. The distinction between outsiders and insiders is obliterated, like the walls of Jericho were. What matters is not whether you were born to Abraham or within the church. What matters is the faith of Abraham and the faith of the church. All of us are disobedient. And whether in the church or out of it, we remain so unless we place our faith in God. That's the point. This is the distinction that matters. Will you let go of all other forms of wealth and security and hold on to nothing but God in faith alone that He alone will save? Rahab had such a faith and was saved. It happened right there in the very moment of Jericho's fall. Her life was held secure, even as all else crumbled around her. God made a way for her where there was no way, just like He did for Israel as they crossed the Red Sea. He still does the same today for all who cling to Him in faith. As you journey on, go with God's blessing. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever He may send you. May He guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May He bring you home rejoicing at the wonders He has shown you. May He bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.